Some people hear Lucifer and Satan and just think those are the names of the devil and don't even question why there are different names for him. There's a huge difference between the two names and when they were his names, or taking all of this in with the meaning of his names. It can provide you with a whole lot of wisdom about not just him, but about us and why we are here. In the King James Version and other translated versions of the Bible, they translated the word Lucifer. Lucifer, in the original Hebrew, was actually Hallel. If you open a Hebrew original text, it would read in the Hebrew, Hallel, not Lucifer. The reason why it is written as Lucifer is because the authors of the Vulgate and the King James Version translated the name. The Catholic Church translated the Hebrew Old Testament and Greek New Testament into Latin with the Vulgate. The King James Version is the English translation of the Vulgate. There was some wisdom to the translation with the next line, son of the morning. The definition of it is brightness, light bearer, but it is also the Latin word for the morning star. Only one time does the Bible mention the word Hallel or Lucifer. That is in Isaiah 14:12. There's a reason for that. It mentions what Hallel's crime was, in which he was banished from God and sentenced to everlasting torture. It says Hallel exalted himself above all the other stars of God and tried to be the god of the congregation. Hallel was Satan, his name before he committed his crime. Satan in the Hebrew means opponent or adversary. And sometimes in the original text, it can mean persecute. There's a reason for that too. Satan is what he became after his crime. He was the morning star, and now he's the adversary, and has and will persecute our creation. Since the days of Adam, he has been known as Satan. People don't trace back what is written in Revelation 20, verse 2, back to the serpent written of in Genesis with Adam and Eve, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. What was John of Patmos referring to? Revelation 12, verse 9, also refers to Satan as being that old serpent. Did God tell a snake his seed would have enmity with the woman's seed? That doesn't make sense. Baal was the fertility god of the pagans. But was he more than that? In Elijah's time, Baal was the great opponent, God, and Jezebel was a chief pagan prophetess. As Paul reiterates the conversation between Elijah and God in Romans 11, he adds something that really puts traditional teaching into question. As is written, God tells Elijah, I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed to the knee of Baal. Traditional teachers have said that God meant there were 7,000 people living in Israel who did not bow to the knee of this pagan god. That's wrong. If God reserves to himself a person, it means that that particular person has not lived yet. Proof of that is what Paul said afterward. Even so, at this present time, there is also a remnant according to the election of grace. A remnant. That means there are still some left. Elijah lived around 900 BC. Paul wrote this around 900 years afterward. There couldn't be any living still if the traditional teachers are correct. God reserves to himself a person by not letting them live. In that particular conversation, God meant that he had reserved to himself 7,000 men and women for the last generation. When else? Also, Paul said that these people were not chosen for any work that they had done, or else it would not be called grace. The ability to have faith is done by grace, but to show it is a work. Showing faith is a good work. Being unfaithful is a bad work. These people did not show their faith in this life in order to be chosen. Those 7,000 people listed in 1 Kings were not the same 7,000 that Elijah, God, and Paul were referring to. The 7,000 in 1 Kings included children. How can a child be held accountable for either being faithful or not being faithful? They cannot be. That is what Paul was trying to clarify. Another secret to all of this is what Baal truly was. Baal may have been the pagan god of fertility, but he was also the deity of Venus. Hallel, Lucifer, means the morning star. What is the morning star? Venus is. Thank you for watching Hidden Hand. Let me know what you think below. One love, one vibration.